First visit was crazy.
So it was like totally random guy?
Random guy. So then we arrived to his house and all of a sudden the big gates are opening and there's like 15 guys. I've never been in Africa, never been in Uganda, I know only the Silas. I met him only twice. And of course on the arrival I gave him 2,500. It's like, oh, okay, my life is over.
Politics,
a lot of politics.
Crazy because there is a lot of corruption and it's not organized at all.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
I think that night we raised over $40,000. In Uganda they take the big rocks and they put them instead of cones. That was the most powerful moment when I saw those kids playing. I still believe that one day our ultimate dream is to build a school. We're gonna talk about Uganda today, Tropas.
Yeah. So, Libor, tell me...
It's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
Usually speak Czech and now we have
now we have to speak in
English. But like
English.
Hasbullah says, business.
Business.
Okay, so let's start. Tell me, like, what was your first ever contact with Uganda? Like, how it all started? You was probably in Vancouver already, starting a bit with academy. So how someone got to build an academy in Uganda?
This is actually funny story because that was 2013. That was 1 year after I started a school, the VSA in Vancouver, in the middle of Vancouver downtown. And I had I think around 50 players, not even. So one day I got a message on Facebook and I opened it and there's one guy from Uganda sent me video of, he sent me a link of one video of one tournament in Uganda which he was organizing every December for kids, supporting them, you know, buying them some shoes and some soccer equipment. It's called, the tournament, I think it was called We Got Skills. So he sent me all the info and of course he asked me for supporting them. So basically that's
how it goes in Uganda.
He invited me for the tournament, but at the same time, of course, he was asking for some support, which you know, I didn't have a problem with. And so I approached a couple of my friends and we just donated $50 each. So actually that time I think I raised over $2,500 Canadian, so which was pretty good. So, and also he asked me if I can fly down there. So I was like, me? Like, I never been there. But that was kind of very exciting, you know, so I never been in Uganda at the time, so I was like, why not?
So it was like totally random guy?
Random guy.
Oh, there.
that was a random guy, I never met him. And you know, actually, also funny things is, so that time he was in Uganda, so he was born in Uganda, but half of the year he was living in Vancouver. So we decided that we were going to meet. And I think we met at Starbucks and I think he came late, like 45 minutes late. I was waiting him at a Starbucks, like, where is this guy? And then he told me his battery went down. I was like, oh my God. But later on, you guys will see, you guys will understand why. It's just normal. So,
yeah,
but that time, like, it was like 45 minutes to be late. So then he showed up and then, yeah, so we had a chat, we spoke about Uganda and Africa. As I said, I've never been in Africa, so it was kind of interesting for me. And when I saw the video of those kids playing bare feet on the dust beach, so that was very interesting, and I actually liked the idea. So I supported them. I raised over 2,500, and believe it or not, 2 months later, it was I think in September. 2-3 months later in December, I was on the plane. I was like, what am I doing? I didn't know what to expect from the trip, but it's just I was young and hungry, and I was, you know, I was full of some excitement.
Nice. That's cool. So how was your first visit?
First visit was crazy. I think everyone.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I think everyone who goes to Africa, and especially countries like Uganda, Tanzania, and all the other countries.
There is a difference between different countries. Like Uganda, that's completely different world from like Egypt and those countries. It's completely different.
So yeah, I found myself on the plane flying down to Uganda, and I was like, wow. So my flight, I think I landed 2-3 in the morning. So thanks God, as my friend was waiting. My friend, the guy was waiting for me with his driver, and also I remember. So they picked me up, and the driver was driving me like he was driving down the hill like 120, 130 kilometers per hour, and the car, you know how those cars looks like there. The car was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. No seat belt. There was no seat belt at the back. There was nothing. No one cares about the seat belt. It's just flying down the street, and it's like, and he brought me to his house. So I remember. So from the main road, they made a big turn to right, and that was like the road was like so bumpy. There was no concrete, there was no concrete. So it was a big horse everywhere, like it's jumping at the seat like that.
Yeah, it's just a dirt and rocks, right?
I was crazy. I was like, you cannot like. I was making fun of that. Like it's like even my dad with the tractor couldn't make it up to the hill. So then we arrived to his house, and all of a sudden the big gates are opening, and there's like 15 guys.
Ooh.
15 black guys.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God. I didn't have a hotel at the time. Now, when I go there, so usually I stay at a hotel, right? But at the time I was young, so I didn't want to pay for a hotel. And of course, we want to save all those money what we raised for the tournament. So we didn't want to use it. We didn't want to use it for my hotel. So I stayed. And also I went there only for 4 days. So it was a quick visit. So we just went there for 4 days.
Just for 4 days? Okay.
4 days.
Okay.
4 or 5.
And how about the house? Was the house like one from the better ones in Uganda, or like?
I was average.
Average.
Okay. Average. I was a little bit better one. But better. A little bit better than average. So.
But still, average in Uganda is like.
Imagine that you get there and then you're with 15 guys there, like alone, and you don't know those guys. And I've never been in Africa, never been in Uganda. I know only the Silas. I met him only twice. 2 times in Vancouver, and of course on the arrival I gave him 2,500. It's like, oh, okay, my life is over. No, just kidding. So we arrived around 5 in the morning. So he showed me my room. There was of course only mattress on the floor. Thanks God I had a room for myself. So I think at that time I slept only for 3 hours or 4. We woke up at 9. And I was going to take a shower, and it was also my first time I went somewhere that there was no shower. The water was not going down at all. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, I took kind of shower, and then they made me breakfast. They make some eggs, and it was the first time I experienced a difference of taste of fruit. So I had a mango. I was like, this is not mango. This is no mango.
The fruit here.
It's fruity, very
crazy.
tasty.
Yeah.
And like for 20 cents. So it was very cheap.
So cheap the fruits are here.
Yeah.
So amazing and so cheap.
So we had a breakfast, and I think he was there. This first day he was showing me a little bit of Kampala, which is capital city in Uganda. So then actually when I woke up, because when we were driving it was still dark. I didn't see anything. There was no cars. Few cars, but it's 5 in the morning. But when I woke up and we went for a drive, then I realized what the heck, the different world, driving around, just see kids on the street asking for money. All those mini shops there, like the wood shop, people roasting chickens.
Yeah,
like
just on the streets,
on
right?
The street, and
all dirty rubbish and stuff.
Everywhere, the rubbish everywhere. 100 people are by the road and selling some stuff, and I think we drove also to downtown, like close to the downtown. Then it's a little bit like civilized world, right? You have those big tall buildings, and then concrete. There's a lot of embassies because it's a capital city. Then you're stuck in traffic, and then you have, and I'm not even kidding, 5 years old girl scaring some baby and then just looking into your car and asking you for money. So which is heartbreaking, but there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm also selling toilet paper, selling soccer balls. I was like, well, I'm gonna be bringing soccer balls here, and the guy is selling them on the street. So that was the first day. First impression, it was shock for me, and it was not easy. It was not easy. And the first day, I'm not saying I didn't like it, but I was like, well, it's a different world. I'm not used to it. Completely different.
I think it is like you see all those documentaries about Africa and those poor states, and you are like, yeah, all right. But when you are here, something different. You realize.
You feel it.
Yeah, you feel it. So
I always say, like, Africa, you cannot just see just Africa. You have to touch it. You have to go touch it and feel it, because when you see the documentary, it doesn't feel the same. You know, the impression of you when you see that, they show a lot of beautiful things, of course a lot of poverty, but when you're really on the ground there, then you experience those moments, and it's more powerful.
And by the way, are you still in contact with that guy or not anymore?
I am still in contact. He was actually the guy who brought me there, and we were together. We doing the school for almost 5-7 years. So, but then our ways were just separated a little bit. So it's because he was a musician, so he didn't have too much time. But yeah, we're still in contact with him.
Yeah, and from this first visit, like, what is like something you really remember, like one of the biggest memories, experiences from those 4 days? Do you have like one, or it's just too many? Like it was one big experience.
Well, since I went there mostly for the soccer, so as I said, the first day was like, okay, it's crazy world, but I was waiting to meet those kids. So the tournament was outside of the Kampala, which was around almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we drove there, but crazy traffic, you know, and we were stuck in the traffic hot. Kids were selling some insect, you know, like, so those like how we call it, like some bugs,
fried bugs, and
some fried bugs, and they were buying them. So like, what are you guys doing? No, try. So I tried one, and it was like crispy. It was actually tasty good, but it was like, and also they were repairing the road and a lot of big rocks, so they don't put the cones there, you know. In Uganda, they take the big rocks and they put them instead of cones. So they put all those rocks, and of course, seen military cars with holding people, like arrested people. So it was like, so there was, I still have a kind of, my feeling was like kind of, wow, good experience, but nothing like, it was not definitive that I'm gonna come back. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna be here for 4 or 5 months, good experience. Because a lot of people, they go to Uganda, they experience once, twice, and that's it, right? They see that. So that was me, that was my case. I was like, okay, well, it was good. Maybe every year I can support them with those 2,500 and keep the tournament on going every year, but everything changed when I arrived to the tournament. So when I arrived to the tournament, oh my God, I saw old, big, because there was the tournament was held at some boarding school, so they had a couple of small fields, and of course kids were sleeping inside of the building, like gyms or big classrooms. But a lot, like there were many buses, but old one, man, old buses. It's like old buses, like, and they I don't know, they may have like 100 kids inside when they drive. So it was like, you saw that. You have a minibus in Uganda, and sometimes like you're just waiting until all the people leaves the bus, gets off the bus, and just constantly it's going down, coming.
The 20 people is out, like, and still going.
How they can all those people fit in there, right? So that was the most powerful moment when I saw those kids playing. I was like, geez, it was like, no shin pads. You know, they didn't have any protection. Field was like that, very hard. So imagine when you run, you can break your ankle easily, you know. There is 2 cows running across the field. They kept them outside, but they're always running. But when I was sitting there, I was like a honor guest or something like that. So they introduced me, so it was very nice, you know. It was like over 500 people maybe. Seriously, it was a big tournament. And so for the first time I was talking English, so in front of those people. So I had to tell them, "Hi guys, I come from." All the coaches are listening to me, and I was like 24.
That could be a bit stressful, right?
I was 24 years old, and I was talking in front of, especially in English. "Hi guys, I'm so happy to be here." It was like a good, powerful games, and I really like the enjoyment and the passion. But yes, that was the moment when I was sitting there. I was like, I want to come back one day, because those kids, they play with such a big passion. Most of them, they didn't have shoes, or they had shoes, but they were worn out. So at that moment I say, okay, maybe this is the reason why I will be coming here, and maybe this is the reason why I would like to have a Volf Soccer Academy in Uganda. So that was the first moment.
Okay, that's nice. That's yeah. As you said, Uganda is completely different world. And so from that first visit, how it happened that Volf Soccer Academy started in Uganda, like a bit more officially.
Well, then, yeah, as I said, I spent there 5 days. So I think the last day, like we didn't go even back to Silas' house. We stayed at the camp. So I was also sleeping at the same boarding school.
Okay.
At the same boarding school with them, because my flight was actually early in the morning. So we stayed in one room. It was like 8 people there, 9 people. I couldn't sleep. I was like, I was not used to it. I like, honestly, I'm not enjoying hostels and even and the stuff like that. So I was like, oh. So next guy was there, driver was there, and like no mattress almost. You were sleeping on all those metal beds, right? So they brought me to airport, and I left with feelings like a lot of impression, like a lot of memories. And I was full of everything. So then I was like, I have to come back one day. But it took me 2 years to build a kind of business plan, to be able to support them, right, and make it sustainable. Kind of, just you go there every year, support them with some money to run the tournament. I didn't want to just support them with the tournament. I really wanted to create something for them that they can have at least the same opportunity to train. Because the biggest problem in Uganda, with countries like that, they don't have the equipment. How you want to train players, if they don't have a soccer balls? So it took me 2 years, and funny enough, it was like when I was in Vancouver. So that time I lived in Yaletown, close to the field, and when we started the school, so I was every morning 6 in the morning, because that time I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep. I slept 5 hours a day. So I would at 6 in the morning go to Shua, which is coffee shop, and I would be sitting with 6 guys. I would be sitting there with six guys. They had their own businesses, so they basically had a coffee, and then they would go. They left to go to the office, and I was always sitting there, right? But funny enough, out of those 6 guys, I think 4 they supported me first year for the project. But when they heard about it, it's like, Libor, this is a great idea. I loved it. Yeah. So of course I had to build some business plan, some information, create some PDF, and when I sent it to them, they sent me back, hey, I want to support you. This is really good, and this is nice. What do you guys want to do there?
Mm-hmm. So, like, when it started in Uganda, you were supporting with some kind of equipment, with money, so they can train on the field sometimes and stuff. And like, what do you still remember? Like the first players which were in the Uganda, do they still participate? Do they still play like for the Volf Soccer Academy?
Yes. So how we started? So as I said, so I contacted a couple of my friends. We made a budget, of course. Some of them they support me with bigger amounts. Some of them just support me with a little bit, but everything helps. So I think we did our first, actually no, 2017 was the first fundraiser, 2015, 2016 we started school, and we started school with big camp. So basically we brought 60 jerseys, and we brought soccer boots, I think around 400 or 500. Yeah. So we collect them in Czech Republic, we collected them in Canada. Basically, kids are growing so fast, the parents donating them, right? So we put them in the big bags, and then we flew down there. So we organized big camps. So we invited around 200 kids, and we choose only 60. Yeah. So we choose 60 kids out of 200. Of course, there were cases that we choose a couple of kids, and the coaches were asking for money, right? The other coaches, because we invited also different clubs, different teams. So when we ask kids to join us, some kids to join us, so the coach, yes, but you gotta give me this money. So we said, no, we're not gonna pay any coach. We just want to do that for kids. If you're willing to help them, we're gonna provide them with better equipment, better training. That's you can bring them. So we start with 60 kids, and yes, there is still around 30. I think more than half still stay with us. And I remember, like for example, Small Joshua was that time 8 years old, and now he's I think 14, and still with us. But also big help is Coach Peter, Coach Peter is the head coach, and he's very connected with the family. So he's supporting these kids. He was supporting these kids for years. So they are very close with parents. So that was also the reason why the kids are still with us.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's really cool that they are still playing. I saw that when I was there with you. Some of them are really, really good and talented. They are fast, really skilled, athletic with the ball. It's crazy, and that's the thing. If they would just have a bit more opportunities and bit more money and support, they could be like one of the best in the world, probably. So.
Well, that was the main reason why we wanted to open VSA in Uganda. To just give them the same opportunity in terms of training.
So maybe that one day they can become.
Maybe one day, maybe one day, but I was not always, because I knew that there is big struggles. The struggles with equipment, with politics. Some kids they are going to boarding school, so they cannot even train properly, enough practices per week. So some people, they have comments, maybe we can one day have one I don't know, Mama Salah from Egypt, right? Some superstar, right? But that was not, I was never that was not my intention to go there. I build some superstar and send him to Europe and sell him and make a lot of money. That was not, it's very hard. If you've never been in Uganda and saw the training environment and the other stuff, the lifestyle and everything around, you will never understand how hard it is to make a soccer player, like any athletes.
Because it's not only conditions. It's not only about the skills that the kid have, because there's a completely different condition and completely different mindset of the people. They are thinking completely differently about a lot of things, and they live even completely differently. So even bring the player to Europe, it can happen that he will go crazy from it, because he's not used to this kind of lifestyle. Everything is clean, new, you have clean water, food, you can get money. I can imagine that some players when they come from Africa, they won't even make it because of that, because of the big difference.
Because it's a big step, right? And also the coaches, those coaches, they don't have, I'm not saying all of them, but they don't have the long-term vision. They just want it right now. We have a good players, you gotta pay for it right now, or they don't see of course, because they were not educated, they never experienced it, so it's very hard to keep them motivated and to show them and to sell them a little bit. Well, this is not just about the selling process, it's about a long journey to development, not only soccer player but also as a human. But it's tough. So we did this camp, we took 60 players, we film it, we make a good documentary, and then we went back to Vancouver, we did a fundraiser that was in West Vancouver. That was a great fundraiser. I have pictures from that. So what we did, we showed the documentary. We had a great dinner. We were selling pictures. We were selling pictures. People were donating, and I think that night we raised over $40,000.
$40,000 Canadian.
Canadian, yeah.
Oh,
so
that's a lot.
Something US, but it was a big help. So that was the budget for more than 1 year, right? And so I was so happy. Then after that, so we had a budget and we could more invest. So we brought more shoes, right? Because don't forget to just bring the shoes. You saw that when we went together. It's not cheap. Like when you have to bring around 500 shoes. Once we flew with my friend who's an Air Canada pilot, right? And he actually spoke with the Air Canada. It's like, wow, listen, we have those 500 shoes. It's a charity. It's a donation for unprivileged kids in Africa. You know, we need help. Can you help us? Can you give us a little bit discount? They say, well, you know what? We want to waive all our like money. You don't have to pay for it. So Air Canada, they basically wanted to support us, but they said we will do that from Vancouver to Toronto. You know, we can help you, but at the same time, like in Toronto, you guys flying with Ethiopian Airlines, and then there's different story. You got to talk to them. So as soon as we landed in Ethiopia, Toronto, right? So we went to Ethiopian Airlines. They said no way. You know. So we didn't pay anything from those 4 or 5 hours from Vancouver to Toronto, but then we paid whole money, more than almost $2,000 to Ethiopian. And my friend was so mad. We were so mad. We were yelling at them. We said, we want to help those kids. You guys don't want to give us the support. So the lady left. She was calling the Addis Ababa, and then after 20 minutes she comes. Unfortunately, guys, we cannot. This how we make our money. So and it is not easy. A lot of people involved there. It's heavy. You have to pay for the money, and yeah, the logistic behind it is crazy. So those are the costs, right? You gotta pay for the field. No one knows that sometimes we gotta pay. The field is more expensive in Vancouver because some people they know the money comes outside of the country, so they want to charge you. They think you are the richest. So we pay for the field, and it's almost the same what I pay for the field in Vancouver, and no one believes that, but it's true. It's true.
In Uganda, I think there are two prices.
Yeah.
Price for local and price for foreigners. Yeah, and it's like many times more for foreigners.
Yeah. So yeah. It's a lot of stories I have from Uganda, and you know, it's always hard. It's always hard. You need to have in Uganda. You have a local person, but also you have to have the other foreign there, because if you just have only locals, so you don't know what's happening. You know, a lot of things happen. You saw that, so you need to have someone from outside of the country to make the local people accountable. You know, because just sending the money constantly. That I had a couple of people around me. Then it was like they were contacting me. They were from US, from other countries. Oh, Libor, we saw the documentary. I like what you guys do there. I got contacted with from people in Uganda. I want to help them. I want to support them. I will send some money. And I'm not even joking. 99% of those people, they are done. They don't help them anymore, because as soon they were sending some money, you know, they were asking for more and more and more. This is not our case, because we know Coach Peter is holding. You know, he's the person who helps a lot. But you getting messages from Uganda. You went there first time, you getting messages from Uganda, or like strange people, basically.
Basically, strange people asking for money.
Asking for money, and they
support.
never met you. They just
they just saw like Instagram stories that I'm in Uganda, and they started to texting me like, yeah, can you send
something? When I started the school, I had every day like around 20-30 messages from Uganda. And always the same story. Please, coach, help. Please, coach, help. I'm a soccer player. I want to be pro. Please, help. How you can help them? Like, they are everywhere. Even from Nigeria, not only from
Kenya,
from all this country.
Even now on Instagram, on Volf Soccer Academy Instagram, there is coming a lot of messages, right, from different countries, from Uganda academies, from kids, blah blah, coaches. And they just want like quick money and support, and that's it basically. They think that you have millions, $100 million and you can throw money everywhere. That's not how it works.
But you know, the passion and the love for the game, and those kids are amazing. I mean, when it comes to kids, you always realize why we're doing all those work, because it makes you happy. You make a difference. You make a difference there in their lives when you give them one soccer shoes. For them, it's like a Christmas gift. It's something that it's hard to express, because especially in those days, kids everywhere around the world, I mean, Canada, US, Czech Republic, Europe, most of the Europe, kids, they have 2 pairs, 3 pairs. In Canada,
and they have everything what they need for.
But for them, you should see every year when I go there. Twice a year, you see, you give them one shoes, and you come back in 3-4 months, and you see those shoes are destroyed, because the field is hard. They play on dusty pitch.
Yeah, and also they are playing like every single day. They are going to school and playing soccer. That is like.
So when you see
life.
When you see the passion, like this is the motivation always helped me to keep pushing, and it was not always easy. We have struggles. We had struggles, right? After COVID, a lot of sponsors, you know, it's affected all of us. But I still believe that one day our ultimate dream is to build a school with other sports that they can have education, but at the same time after school program provides them with some good training, not only necessarily soccer, tennis, but you can have artist classes, you can have tennis players, basketballs, and other, because there's a lot of talents in Uganda. So that's what motivates us to keep us pushing forward. And I think last thing what we can wrap this conversation about the politics in Uganda, because we were planning to take 230 kids, including coach, to Europe for the tournament and camp in Prague. And we were dealing with visa for 3 months. Coach was not able to, and we paid some people. They were trying to help us. They were supposed to help us, and we had to come to Uganda. Basically, we had to go straight to the office, to embassy to make it happen. And if we wouldn't go there, you know, I went straight forward to the window there. Say, listen, I'm here. I just flew here just to get those visa. We are waiting for 3 months. They say, hey, you gotta go online. I say, I'm not going anywhere. We cannot go online because your system is down.
Yeah, it's not working.
So basically, coach was for 3 months and we were wasting time. So I had to go there and basically yell at them. That's why I need to get those visa. We want to support them. We have every document. We had the flight tickets. We had everything organized. We made them passports. So it was supposed to be great experience for those kids. We wanted to help them, give them the opportunity. Those kids were actually the one they deserve more, because they were the hardest working kids. Joshua, one of them was Joshua, so hopefully it will happen this year. But so I had to go there, yell at them, and all of a sudden say, I'm not gonna leave until you bring the supervisor. It's like, miss, no, I'm not gonna leave until, so in 20 minutes, a young guy comes and says, okay, tell me the story. So I explained the story, you know what, bring those kids. So, but those kids, they were in boarding school, so we had to send a taxi. They were 2 hours outside of the Kampala, so we had to bring them. We had an appointment 2 p.m. And we brought the kids. We had to pay extra money, so we spent a lot of money just to get the visa, you know. Yeah. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, because, like you said, it's working totally different for local people, but for foreigners. If my coach would be coming there, would be the same story. Go online. There's nothing. But of course, when I put the pressure on him, and as a foreigner, so they took it more seriously. So. Which is strange, but that's how the world works.
Yeah,
there.
The politics,
a lot of politics.
Crazy, because there is a lot of like corruption, and it's not organized at all, and like no order, and it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Okay, so I think that's it for the first experience.
Volf Soccer in Uganda. You guys will hear from us one day.
Yeah.
I mean, not just the picture we brought in June. We brought 400 kids here, right?
500.
500, and next year we're gonna go again. Next year we will try again. Bring those kids to Prague. We have a camp in Prague with 60 Czech kids, 10 Canadian, 10 US, and then we need to bring the Ugandan. For first time in history, we're gonna film it. So just follow us on Instagram, Volf Soccer Academy, and you will find a lot of content from Uganda.
Okay, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.